Welcome to the program. Global Weekly News, serial number 87. First, we are going to see challenges before Pakistan. Parliamentary elections took place in Pakistan on 8th February. No party was able to get absolute majority. This is the 12th general elections in 76 years since independence. The Electoral Commission banned the cricket bat, the symbol of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf PTI party of former Prime Minister and cricketer Imran Khan. Imran Khan was convicted in 4 different cases and is presently in jail. PTI, Imran Khan's party, PTI supported independence, won in 93 seats. Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz party got 75 seats and Pakistan People's Party got 54 seats. Religious parties could get only less than 10 seats. This has revealed that secularism is triumphant in Pakistan. Both Muslim League Nawaz and People's Party are negotiating for a coalition government. Muslim League has proposed Shehbaz Sharif, younger brother of Nawaz Sharif, as Prime Ministerial candidate. Whether this coalition will meet the economic challenges of Pakistan remains a question. This coalition is presently in power. They could not control the prices of essential commodities. Due to inflation rise, the average real wages of the workers declined by 13% in 2023 alone. Between July 22 and June 23, on the whole, industrial development declined by 10.26%. Due to imposition of austerity measures by IMF, the purchasing power of the citizens is affected. Industrialists in manufacturing sector are also in economic distress. Subsidies to the tune of $1,700 crore were given, but mostly the highly rich people cornered the subsidies. Therefore, economic inequalities have increased. Unemployment has also risen to 8%. Military is a dominating force in Pakistan. The military may dissolve the elected government. PTI party alleges rigging and malpractices in election. PTI supporters conducted protest demonstrations widely. Next, we are going to see regarding the WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange. Julian Assange, the founder of WikiLeaks of Australia, had exposed US war crimes in Iraq and Afghanistan. Assange is in London Belmarsh jail for a number of years. As per the request of US, United Kingdom is trying to extradite Assange to US. Assange's appeal against extradition will be taken up within a few days in London court. On 14th February, voting took place in the Australian Parliament on the resolution demanding the release of Julian Assange and bringing him back to his home in Australia. 86 voted in favour, 42 voted against. Australian Prime Minister is supportive of Assange's release. Next, we go to see Colombia. In the South American country Colombia, the tenure of the Attorney General of the Supreme Court, Francisco Barbosa, came to an end on 12th February. He was appointed by the ex-rightist president. Present leftist president Gustavo Petro proposed 3 names for the post of Attorney General. Supreme Court has not selected any one of them. This is nothing but a soft coup to destabilize the left rule. Though the Supreme Court met on 25th January, 8th February, it did not select the Attorney General. Supreme Court is again meeting on 22nd February. Inter-American Commission for Human Rights expressed its grief on 13th February over non-selection of the Attorney General. On 8th February, the supporters of Gustavo Petro conducted demonstrations for the delay in nomination of the Attorney General. Next, comrades, all over the world, the journalists are also being killed. Murder of journalists. Committee to Protect Journalists, CPJ, released a report stating that 3/4 of the murders of journalists and media men in the world took place in Gaza or Palestine in 2023. 99 journalists and media workers were killed in the world. In 2023, 78 of them were killed in Gaza by attacks by Israel. 72 are Palestinians, 3 are from Lebanon, and 2 belong to Israel. Some journalists lost their entire family also in the attack by Israel's army. Even though the journalists were exhibiting their identity badges, Israel forces killed them. This is a deliberate war crime as per international law. Next, we are going to see the genocide of Israel, genocide by Israel. Israel had intensified its bombings on Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis, town of South Gaza, over the past 3 weeks. On 16th February, Israel's ground forces seized Nasser Hospital. Thousands of Palestinians, displaced civilians, patients, medical staff were inside the hospital. Due to the attack by Israel's ground forces, thousands of displaced people were forced to evacuate the hospital, to leave the hospital. Israel branded Palestinians, including many doctors, medical staff, as terrorists. Israel alleged that they are all Hamas members. Due to power outage in the hospital arising out of Israel's attacks, 5 patients died. United Nations High Commissioner Office expressed its deep anxiety. As per international humanitarian laws, medical facilities are protected structures. World Health Organization has also called for an end to attacks on hospitals. The International Forum, Doctors Without Borders, called Israel to stop its attacks on hospitals. In Israel's genocide of Palestinians in Gaza since 7th October 2023, so far more than 29,000 Palestinians were killed. 68,500 were injured. About 15 lakh Palestinians have taken refuge in Rafah city near Egyptian border in southern Gaza. They are living in camps and tents. Israel is planning for ground offensive on Rafah to drive away the Palestinians to Egypt. There are many protest demonstrations condemning Israel all over the world. In London alone, about 10 lakh people were on the streets expressing solidarity to the Palestinians. Comrades, Lula has called for ceasefire. Lula's appeal for a ceasefire. Arab League states meeting was held in Cairo, capital of Egypt, on 15th February. Brazil's left president Lula da Silva spoke in the meeting. His speech is as follows: "My government will make contribution to United Nations Refugee Welfare Association, aid, and we urge all countries to maintain and strengthen their contributions. The most urgent task is to establish a definitive ceasefire that allows the delivery of sustainable, unimpeded humanitarian aid and the immediate and unconditional release of hostages. The persistence of the conflict in Palestine goes far beyond the Middle East. There is no longer any excuse to prevent Palestinians' entry to the United Nations as a full member. The resumption of negotiations, the resumption of peace negotiations is universal cause and our cause. That's why I want to renew my wish for peace and prosperity to all of you. I would like to finish by saying that Brazil will continue in the coming years defending recognition of the Palestinian state as a sovereign state, not just at the UN but also on the ground, so that the Palestinians can build their lives in peace and with respect from the rest of the world." Comrades, next we are going to see, this is 2024 is an election year. Many countries elections are being held, are going to be held. Now we are going to see Indonesian elections. On 14th February, elections for president, vice president took place in Indonesia. 20 crore people were eligible to vote. Counting will take place only on 20th March. The incumbent president, Joko Widodo, known briefly as Jokowi, is in office for 8 years, 2 terms. He can't compete in the he cannot compete in the elections third time as per law. Opinion polls indicate that the incumbent defense minister, son-in-law of the former dictator Suharto, Prabowo Subianto, will get 58% votes. Suharto was the president of Indonesia between 1967 and 1998 for 32 years. When Suharto was the army general, 5 lakh to 12 lakh people were massacred in 1965 to 66. Majority of them were communists. Prabowo Subianto contested unsuccessfully twice against Jokowi, the present president. In the present elections, Jokowi's son, 36-year-old Gibran Rakabumi, is contesting for vice president in alliance with Prabowo Subianto. When Suharto was president, severe repression was unleashed on the leftists, dissenters and activists. 72-year-old Prabowo Subianto is depicted in the media as an affectionate grandfather. For youngsters born after 1998, the brutality of Suharto is not known. The youth are attracted towards Prabowo Subianto. During the elections, the leftist activists raised the issue of protection of workers' rights. Next we are going to United Kingdom to see how Rishi Sunak is acting against the immigrants. Rishi Sunak sending migrants to Rwanda. United Kingdom's Prime Minister is Rishi Sunak. You know, Great Britain means England, Scotland and Wales. When you say United Kingdom, it means Great Britain plus North Ireland. South Ireland is a separate country. So, United Kingdom, his PM is Rishi Sunak. His government's bids to deport migrants to Rwanda continue to draw criticism from human rights groups. The Migrants' Rights Network, Amnesty International UK and Human Rights Watch criticized Rishi Sunak's latest plan to push the safety of Rwanda Asylum and Immigration Bill. The bill has been promulgated to designate Rwanda as a safe country and thereby deter any judicial interventions against the government's proposal to relocate migrants and asylum seekers. The bill, which was passed in the House of Commons, is currently being scrutinized by the House of Lords. The UK Parliament's Joint Committee on Human Rights, as well as several lawmakers, have said that the bill is incompatible with the United Kingdom's human rights obligations and international laws. The United Kingdom and Rwanda Migration and Economic Development Partnership signed in April 2022 to relocate undocumented immigrants to Rwanda to process their asylum and resettlement sparked an international outcry. The first deportation flight to Rwanda on June 14, 2022 was grounded just minutes before takeoff due to a direct action by activists and an 11th hour intervention by the European Court of Human Rights. On 29th June 2023, the London Court of Appeal ruled that the UK's notorious Rwanda asylum plan was illegal. In November 2023, the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom ruled the partnership illegal. Within the short span of his tenure in his office, Rishi Sunak has earned enough notoriety for his anti-refugee schemes, including the Stop the Boats policy and plans to house the asylum seekers at boats docked in UK ports. In July 23, the Conservative government passed the Illegal Migration Act to clamp down on small boat refugee crossings to the United Kingdom through the English Channel. Under the proposed legislation, judges would be compelled to regard Rwanda as a safe country. The United Kingdom Parliament's Joint Committee on Human Rights condemned the bill as incompatible with international law. including Article 13 of the European Convention on Human Rights, on the right to an effective remedy, which rules that individuals must have access to justice and an impartial tribunal. Comrades, there are two conferences in Munich of Germany. Munich Security Conference. 60th Annual Munich Security Conference took place in Munich of Germany from February 16 to 18. Since 1963, this annual conference was being held. 350 heads of governments from more than 70 countries took part in the conference. The conference discussed about security challenges. On behalf of India, Sri Jaishankar, the Minister for Foreign Affairs, took part in the conference. On 17th February, thousands of people marched in Munich protesting the 60th Annual Munich Security Conference. They condemned the conference as a gathering of NATO warlords under US leadership, under the guise of under the pretext of debating international security policy. Palestine solidarity activists displaced a large banner containing the names of thousands of Palestinians killed by Israel army in Gaza. Activists from German Communist Party, Socialist German Workers Youth, Marxist-Leninist Party of Germany, and other anti-imperialist organizations joined the protest, raising banners that read, "Warmongers unwanted." German imperialism was using the Security Conference as a stage to present itself as a strong partner of United States. Peace and anti-imperialist groups also helped organize the 22nd International Munich Peace Conference, held in the city from February 16 to 18, parallel to Security Conference. Such peace conferences are taking place since 2003 in counter to the Security Conference. Activists, academics and politicians from across Europe joined the peace conference. The Munich City Council, which was providing funds earlier, this year had withdrawn its support. During the peace conference, anti-war activists discussed alternatives to militarism and capitalism and paths to peace. They also sharply condemned the role of imperialist countries in enabling Israel's ongoing genocidal war on Gaza. Next, we are going to an African country, Senegal. Senegal is in West Africa. Dakar is its capital. On 26th November 2023, Senegal President Macky Sall announced that presidential elections will be held on 25th February 2024. On 3rd February, he however revoked this announcement. On 5th February, the National Parliament voted to adopt a law that would delay the poll till 15th December of this year and have Macky Sall remain in office as president until his successor was chosen. The tenure of the president expires on 2nd April. Many protests took place against the postponement of polls. The Constitutional Council of 7 judges nullified a presidential decree and a law passed by Parliament postponing the elections. The chief election body has ordered that elections be held as soon as possible. On 16th February, Senegal President Macky Sall announced that he would abide by the Constitutional Council's decision. Lastly, we are going to see Palestine solidarity movements. While United States politicians continue to aid and support Israel, people across US have been demanding that their elected officials end all aid to Israel and call for an immediate ceasefire. On 16th February, high school students from across New York City walked out of schools to demand an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. The Water Transport Workers Federation of India, representing 3,500 workers in 11 ports, announced the refusal to aid Israel's genocide and called for an immediate ceasefire. Government of India is trying to deport 1 lakh construction workers to Israel in place of Palestinian Workers, Construction Workers Federation of India has been protesting against this. Activists occupy the Ottawa office of the Canadian Office of Defence and Services Industries, CARDSI, a private lobbying group representing over 300 companies in the weapons industry. The demonstrators delivered a letter to CARDSI demanding that the group, which receives funds from the Canadian government, end its complicity in Israel's genocide of Palestinian people and stop helping sell weapons to Israel. Hundreds rallied outside while protesters occupy the CARDSI headquarters. Thank you, comrades. See you, Lord Salam. Next TV.